Hello and welcome to Flower School 102, where I show you how to take an inexpensive grocery store or farmer's market bouquet like this and turn it into a beautiful asymmetrical arrangement. And it starts out looking something like this that I paid $10.99 for, and in the end it looks like this. So this one, I bought two grocery store bouquets, one for $10.99, which is the pink and sort of white flowers and purple flowers that you see. And then these bunch of kale, I've got two bunches of kale here, and that cost $3.33. So all told, for the flowers, I am under $15. And I was able to make this bouquet. Or arrangement. It's not really a bouquet. Could be, I guess, if you wanted to get married. But it's an asymmetrical arrangement. It's a little bit more in depth than our previous lesson, and I think the results are kind of neat. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make a different kind of arrangement with the exact same $11 worth of flowers that I used in my previous demonstration. So this is still $11 investment in the flowers and using a little bit more materials than I used in the vase arrangement, but really not that much more, and some found things. So you can do this arrangement also relatively inexpensively. Right now I have the bowl that I'm going to put the arrangement in, and I also have vinyl floral tape. This is waterproof vinyl floral tape. So I'm going to show you two ways to do this type of an arrangement. One way is that you can use foam. This is the dry kind of foam, but the wet foam looks similar. So what you would do is take a piece of wire, stretch it out, and then cut it pull it through the foam downwards in the size that would fit this bowl. So for instance, if I wanted to do this bowl, I would cut it about right here, put the wire, and draw it all the way through. Then once you have the foam in the bowl, I'm not going to use this today, but this is just for a demonstration. You take the piece of foam, put it in the bowl, and then you would take a piece of this wet, water-resistant vinyl floral tape, and you would just imagine that your foam is in here. Just put maybe one little piece of this tape across the top, so that will hold your foam in while you put your flowers in. I don't like to use floral foam if I don't have to. I think it's a little bit less environmentally friendly, because once you put, the other way to do it is to just use a tape grid, and the tape grid can be left on your bowl or your container to do your next arrangement. You can use it over and over again. You don't have to be throwing it out. Whereas foam, once it gets old, it can tend to get moldy. It will definitely have to be thrown out. So the other way I'm going to do it is a floral grid, a floral tape grid. So you take pieces of your tape and you do it like this. And you can use this for fresh flowers, wet flowers, or you can use it for dried flowers, or I've used it for solo wood flowers also. So what this does is it gives you a place to sort of put your flowers in. It will hold them upright and not have so much sagging, and you can get a little bit more structure to your flowers than you were able to get for the vase arrangement. that I did in a previous video. So you can get, with these in here, you can get a little bit more asymmetry going as you put your flowers through here, a taller one here, shorter ones over here. You can, or you can do a round one again, like we did before, or you can do a long sort of horizontal one. And this will just help to give the stems structure without using foam. Hello, so today we're going to do the asymmetrical design with our similar flowers as we had before. And I just swapped out my bowl for a larger bowl because I want to make a larger arrangement with an asymmetrical lean higher this way and lower this way. So I'm going to do a lot of the same things I did in the first video 101, where I'm going to vary the lengths. I'm going to use anchor flowers to sort of get everything, my dimensions, and then I'm going to fill in around there. But first, because I'm not using foam, I'm just using a grid, I'm going to put some very thick filler flowers so that they will help hold the other flowers in place as we go along, since some are taller and some are not going to be not so tall. So I'm using these kale, which I think are beautiful for a spring arrangement, and they're going to sort of be my filler that will help me hold everything together. And I am actually going to even take off a little bit more. And this one's getting in the way a little bit, so I'm going to just pull these bottom ones off. This is the similar plant that's going to be on my shorter side. So I am going to go ahead and place that one in my grid. And then I'm going to come in with some of my other fillers. You'll remember these little purple mums, and sort of get my dimensions. So I'm going to go lower on this side and higher on this side. So again, with the variations of length, these are very similar. So I'm going to make this one, I'm going to use this one the short one. So I'm going to put it in where I want it, and I'm realizing I'm going to have to cut it off very low. Actually, even more. You can take all these extraneous leaves off. That's called stemming. So I'm going to stem this up a little bit and then put my flower in there. This one's missing its top, so I'm just going to clip it out. Easy peasy. So now this one with less flowers, I want it to be a little bit airy as it gets taller. So I'm going to put this one over here on the tall side. Just going to trim it off just a smidge. And we're going to see how tall that is. That's actually pretty nice. And then in this corner, it's going to be just sort of a focal point, but a lower focal point. So we're going to use these flowers here for that one. Going to take all these off. You don't want a bunch of this stuff in your water, because as it decays, it makes the water less healthy for the flowers. You want to keep your water as fresh as possible. So keeping dead things out of it is a good idea. I'm going to cut it just below where the flowers start and see how I can do with this. This one's a little broken, so I'm going to cut it off, and this one's missing its flower, so I'm going to cut it off. There we go. Now I can come in with my anchor flowers. So in the front down here, I definitely want to get a rose. And I actually want these to be a little lower. So I am going to take those out and put those in my smallest grid there. And I'm going to put my first anchor flower rose in here. I've got another rose that, oops, see that? That's a little bit decayed. I'm just gonna cut that off. Put my other rose on this side. And my tall rose, oops, it's a little too tall still. Gonna give her a trim. Put her right in there like that. So this is how it's looking so far. Don't worry about this. As I get more filler in here, it'll stay put. So speaking of filler, I'm going to put one of these fluffier flowers down here. And another one on this side. So now you see what we're going for there. Now I'm going to just fill in with some filler flowers. Now this one definitely has a front. This is the front, this is the back. Now the back is not going to be completely blank, but it's not going to have as much interest as the front. So now I'm just going to fill in with some filler. Okay, so I'm very happy with this arrangement so far, except that this rose was a little droopy. So I want to get a little bit more filler in to this area right here to sort of hold her up perkier. I'm just going to use some of my old stems and crisscross them into the lattice in a way that will hold this rose up, sort of away from its neighbors, and let it shine. It's really one of the prettier flowers of this arrangement. And there you have an asymmetrical arrangement. All that's left is to pour a little bit of water into the bowl to keep our flowers alive.